Hello, pre-algebra. Just getting stuff ready here. So we're going to try to finish these problems today. And my son is with me right now, so you might hear me say, hey, good job, or yeah, that's right, and, some other stuff. But I'm going to finish up the adding. I'll stop this video, and then I'm going to do another video on the subtraction. So practice adding integers and find the sum of each column, checking your answer with the provided sum. And I'm just going to pull back this rule here that says that if two values have the same sign, then add and use the same sign. This one's a little harder to remember. And this one says if the signs are opposite, then subtract and take the number with the greatest absolute value. So that rule applies to our first example here, -9 + 6. So here, the first part of the rule says to subtract. So 9, if I was going to say, just look at the numbers, don't even worry about what it's telling us to do, and just do subtract, like the rule says, 9 - 6 + 3. The second part of that rule is to say to take the sign of the number with the greatest absolute value. So which one has the greatest absolute value, -9 or +6? Well, the absolute value of -9 is 9. Absolute value of 6 is 6. So 9 has the greater absolute value. So that means we take the negative sign and put that in our answer. Next one, they both have the same sign, +4 and +11. So you add these, and then the value, your answer has the value of the same, your answer has the sign of your numbers. So 4 + 7, that's 11. And since these are both positive, 11 stays positive. This one, again, they're opposite signs. So let's look at this. -7 + 12. So -7 and 12. So I'm going to subtract. So let's do, because they're opposite signs. So 12 - 7 is 5. But which one has the bigger absolute value? Well, 12 is bigger. So since 12 is bigger, my answer is going to be positive because 12 is positive. Hope that makes sense. Now what we're going to do, according to the instructions, said we could check our answers by adding all these numbers together. So -3 + 11 + 5. So let's just take the first two and do those together. So 11 and -3, if I add those together, since they have opposite signs, I'm going to subtract. So 11 - 3, well, that's going to give me 8. And since 11 is the bigger number, we keep the sign of 11. So that is a +11, so that's +8. Now we're going to add these two together, 8 + 5. So 8 + 5, they both have the same sign, so we just add them together. 8 + 5 is 13. And would you look at that? That's the sum. So we did that correctly. Let me do one more column with you guys, and then I'll have you do these two on your own. So why don't you pause the video and see if you can do column B on your own. Okay, so we have 7 + -3, opposite sign, so we subtract. 7 - 3 is 4. Since 7 is positive and it's the bigger number, that means 4 is going to be positive. 1 + -9. So the opposite signs means to subtract. 9 - 1 is 8. And because 9 is bigger and it's negative, we keep that negative sign. Now notice here that I'm not writing positive signs. I could if I wanted to, but I'm not writing positive signs for when it is positive. If you don't see a sign in front, always assume it's positive, like shoe and -6. Well, shoe didn't have a positive sign, but we know it's positive. So speaking of which, shoe, -6. So since they're opposite signs, to subtract. 6 - 2 is 4. And because 6 is the bigger number, it's negative. That means I keep the negative sign. Okay, so let's see if I did this right. I'm going to check my answer by adding all these together. So I have 4 plus a -8 plus negative 4. Okay, so let's figure this out. As soon as I get my pen to work, excuse me. Oh my goodness, it got stuck. You know, there's no way to pause these recordings, which makes me very frustrated sometimes. There we go. Okay, so first I'll do 4 plus negative 8, and then I'll add that to negative 4. 4 plus negative 8, well, opposite signs I subtract, so 8 minus 4 is 4. Since 8 is bigger and it's negative, I'd bring down the negative sign. Now I have negative 4 plus negative 4. Well, these are the same signs, so that means I add them together, and I keep the negative sign. So negative 4 plus negative 4, hey, that's negative 8. So we did that column right too. So if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand as we're working through this together. And I'm going to let you guys do columns C and D by yourself. You can check your answers by adding the sums together. If you don't get those sums, again, you can ask me and we can figure it out. So this says, as you apply integer operations to real-world situations, consider asking yourself the following questions to guide your thinking and determine reasonableness for your solutions. I don't know the answers to the blanks, but I'm going to give you what I think are the answers. What value are you working with? By the way, working. What value do you also know, and what does it? Again, I'm not sure what goes there. I'm sorry. What does your solution make sense in the context of the, let's say, problem? I think is what they're looking for here. I really like that last piece of advice. Does your solution make sense in the context of the problem? So let's read this problem, do it together, and then I'll tell you guys what I mean. A submarine is traveling 200 feet below sea level. Then it ascends 75 feet. What is the new position of the submarine? Write and solve an equation to represent the situation. So, okay, let's kind of think about what's going to be positive and negative. We have a submarine, right? And here's a nice picture of a submarine. For the sake of simplicity, let's just say that anytime the boat is going up, it's moving in a positive direction. And anytime the boat is moving down, it's moving in a negative direction. Okay, I'm making a video. I can't stop right now, so you need to wait. So you have to figure it out. I'm busy right now. You need to wait. Please wait. So, sorry, guys. A submarine is traveling 200 feet below sea level, then it ascends 75 feet. So if it goes 70 feet below sea level, that means it goes down negative 200 feet. And then it ascends. So the keyword here is below sea level, 200 feet. And then it ascends 75 feet, which means it goes back up 75 feet. Now I could have done this the other way. I could have kept my below sea level positive and above negative. It would still worked out, but it'd be opposite signs. Let's see what this comes up to. So I have negative 200 plus 75. And here, you know what? Let me rearrange the problem the way you're used to seeing it when you would do long addition. Plus 75. Okay, so because of opposite signs, I would subtract. So I'm going to borrow, make this a 9. I have to make this a 9. 1. So 9 minus 5 is, I'm sorry, I'm doing this wrong. This would be a 10, not a 9. Oopsies. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 2 is, 9 minus 7 is 2. And then bring that 1 down, 125. And since 200 is the bigger number, it ends up with a negative sign. So negative 125 feet is the answer. And again, because does this answer make sense? Well, yeah, it makes sense because look, Negative 125 feet, that means it's negative 125 feet below sea level. So yes, this answer makes sense because I'm going 125 feet down. I'm gonna let you guys try number 7 on your own and number 8 on your own. Number 8 is just more adding sums together. So in the next video, I'm gonna show you guys how to do subtraction. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.